So I've been working quite a bit, and my nails are a bit of a mess, and they're a mess on purpose because I kind of left them a bit longer than I typically do for this video. I want to show you a couple of nail techniques that we've got that I think will really work well for you. The first thing you want to do is actually make sure that your cuticle is pushed back. It doesn't have to be too dramatic, but it does have to be pushed back. And I also go along the side as well, because the nail dipping, as any nail product, does not sit well on old dead skin. So you got to make sure that that has happened. Now this particular nail, I got caught and it did rip off, which is unfortunate. I got caught in the door of a car on the safety belt, and that was just pretty bad. And then the next thing you want to do is make sure that you take off all of the other dead skin cells or nail cells on top and the dead skin cells around it. So you just take a little bit of a nail file and just go very, very, very gently. You want to rough it up a little bit over here and get rid of those old things that are hanging off your skin and off the nail. And you also want to just get into the side of the nail here, as you can see I'm doing, and just rough it very, very slightly. Let's just make that so that you can see. Same thing with this nail. Just going to rough it slightly, make sure there's nothing hanging off. Go into the side, make sure that all the old dead skin cells are off of there, and just gently rough your nail so you've got a good adhesion. I like my nails fairly short and I like them natural. So what we're going to do is just file that to the shape of my nail, and I'm just going to go right over the top of them. I want these particular nails just to be protected, and I'll grow them out. It'll probably take about a week or two, and they'll be just about perfect, and the damage will be gone. I know that some people don't like the nails different length, but I don't really mind it. When I'm growing one out, I would prefer that to do a tip on this particular nail. Now what I did last time that I did my nails was I wanted to show you what a ridge looks like that you want to avoid. So there is a ridge, and I put too much of the dipping glue and powder close to my cuticle, and you want to avoid that like the plague. You also notice that there's no lifting here, and I broke that nail as well. There's no real lifting here under this nail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a fill on this and a fill on this nail as well. So, and you can notice that there's no ridge on this nail because I was pretty good about making sure that when I applied the dipping solution, the liquid and the powder, that there was no actual ridge there. So it was pretty good. Anyway, on to the next step. So I'm just going to simply file this ridge away. Just buff it away like so. You also want to check when you're doing dipping nails or any kind of nail that there's no lifting. If there is lifting, make sure that you make certain that that lifting is gone, that the nail is taken away. But these are pretty solid right now, so I could just go over the top of them. And you'll see that they're pretty forgiving. I've just taken me about 2 seconds to get rid of that ridge, and that's really what you want. Also, when I'm doing a fill, I want to make sure that I buff up this nail and get the top coat off. And you can be quite harsh with it because you really want to get it off there. You can use a tool as well, but you know, I've done them pretty thin, so I really don't have to do that. Make sure that you get into the sides as well, and then up over the top of the nail as well. Just rough them up pretty well. There we go. And you'll notice that I'm not too particular about what I do because the actual dipping gel is self-leveling, which is really, really cool. So there we go. And now what I want to make sure is that my cuticle is pressed back. There we go. And that there are no extra little bits and bobs sitting and floating around my nail. So there we go. We have it. I'll go in there and just touch it up just a tiny little tad, make it nice and smooth for the application, which you'll see in just a moment. And again, it's pretty self-leveling, going into the side here. Easy peasy. And again, you don't have to be particular because all of this is going to go away because the rapid gels are so forgiving. It's really awesome. Okay, so I've pretty much got the shape of the nail down that I want. I've checked to see that there's nothing really hanging off, but again, the dipping gels will hide just about everything. It doesn't really matter. There we go. And on this one, I'm going to just do the same process. I'm just going to go in, rough them up. There we go. And I'm going to go into the side. Sorry about the noise, but that's all it takes. Super easy. And I'm going to do the rest of my nails while we're off camera, but you can see what I'm doing, and please do the same.